Huh.
What about that fire?
Dinner's really good, Mom.
You really thought she wasn't going to mention that?
The way the fire spreads so fast, I've never heard of anything like it.
Hmm.
Yeah. It's scary.
After those floods upstate, I was overjoyed we had less rain this year. Who knew a spring drought could be even more dangerous?
You never know where a deadly spark will come from.
I've always kind of
It's
wondered
certainly
how
troubling.
warm weather
The
can
latest
cause
report from the
fires.
commissioner's office suggests arson.
Arson. Why would anyone do that?
Any number of reasons. With everything going on in the world today, even a town like Arcadia Bay isn't immune to the ills of society.
Yeah.
I
That'll become
cannot
very clear in
imagine
the
how
first
difficult
game.
these last few years have been for you, Chloe. Now that you and Rachel have become friends, I want you to know that our home is always open to you.
Cool.
That's a very
Thanks.
quick
Well said, dear.
kind of acceptance,
It's
but I guess
imperative in
Ryan
such
and Ness were
troubled
no
times
different.
as these that we remember what is most important to us. Family.
Yeah,
Family's not merely a gift. It is a
she
responsibility.
still has the light candle on her
As
head.
such, those we love must be cared for and never, ever taken for granted.
See, I don't know what the purpose of attacking James would be here. Kind of makes no sense for us to do that. It's none of our business. So,
Yeah, that's super true. And also remember, Rachel, that even when shit's like the lamest ever, you can always run away from whatever's bothering you. As long as you just
No.
keep calm.
An interesting philosophy, Chloe.
Yes, indeed. Not one that I would endorse, however.
yeah.
I favor confronting my problems head on. But to each their own, I suppose.
Oh, fucking blow me.
Rachel?
I didn't do anything.
Crap. I'm so clumsy. Rachel, can you come help me find another
Stop
fork?
it, Chloe.
She ends up laying into
I
him
can't
anyway,
sit here
look.
and listen to this bullshit anymore.
Rachel!
Stop it, Dad. You're a hypocrite. Okay? I know. You lying, cheating piece of shit, motherfucker.
Excuse me?
We saw you yesterday at the Overlook
James?
kissing that woman.
James.
Rachel?
See,
Honey, whatever you
I
saw...
kind
or
of
think
wondered
you
why
saw,
Rose
I
didn't
know
seem
it's
so
hard,
bothered at first.
but I need you to trust me.
I really kind of was like, no, wait a minute, is she just accepting this or what?
No offense, Mr. Amber, but I think we trust our eyes more than you.
That's enough! You are not welcome here or around my daughter any longer. I know exactly what kind of person you are from the moment I saw you. And
That's
I
a
let
very,
my wife's
like,
compassion get the better of me.
wild
kind of person is
reaction
that?
to
Delinquent.
barely
A broken
talk.
girl from a broken home.
How the fuck do you
That's
know?
enough, James. I
Asshole.
will not have you continue to speak to her like this.
See, Rose is awesome there. Because how the hell does he know she's a delinquent or whatever? Obviously from getting kicked out of school, but not a broken home. How the fuck does he know that? I mean, he's one to fucking talk. You know, he's putting his newest marriage at risk for that shit. If she didn't know what the truth was behind
Why
it, then
can't
he
you
would have been
just
a
tell me the
over
fucking truth?
douchebag.
Stop lying. Stop being a politician for 1 fucking minute. Can't you just be my dad?
I get it.
Rachel, that woman you saw, that wasn't my mistress. That was your mother.
Life is Strange bombshell. Yes. That's a typical Life is Strange bombshell. You will know if you've played this series that they pretty much made their name on that. that was kind of one thing that's a real constant in this series. The bombshells at the end of each one, or almost each one, are insane. I mean, that was one of the biggest surprises, to be honest, because you wouldn't have thought that. And the reason you wouldn't have is because of how how in the first game her parents actually get mentioned. See, this whole thing about her real mother, it never gets brought up or mentioned, and I think it's probably because of what happens at the end of the next episode. You know, because you get to the end and then there's something you tell at the end of the game, and then you make that decision. So, you know. See what I mean? Like, even if you told her to stay away from him, that would have happened. I'm pretty sure. See, that's what I was telling you earlier, because it wouldn't have mattered. I mean, when you really think about it, that actually does look a lot like her. Like, they look very alike, actually. Down to even probably the tattoos, but I think Rachel only had a tattoo on her leg somewhere. Actually, I think I just noticed that. There was one on Sarah's leg too. So they matched, I guess. It's just very hard to tell. With the end of the next episode, when you think about it, now it's a multi-choice. I don't think it was very clear what the canon is. Now that I think about it. Yeah, but you'll see. In the first game, they are known for massive bombshells like that. And massive shocks. That's kind of a thing. So literally, you could probably guess what's going to happen from here on out. Everything focuses on that moment. You know, that, and now it becomes like a search for her and answers, because Rachel's obviously wanting to know more, which makes sense. It's an age-old thing, isn't it? Like, when do you tell your kid that? And considering Sarah's situation that James will explain in the next one, that's even more pertinent, you know? But basically, everything in this episode, completely forget it. That becomes the main vocal point for the entire episode, and then the game ends. But yeah, that whole thing after the stuff on stage should have been the moment when that question was asked, and then that should have followed with that. That would have made more sense. But, you know, that's the thing. Like I said, because it's on such a tight schedule with only 3 episodes, that's probably all they could do. We'll never really know. But yeah, I was never expecting that. Like, what the fuck? But like I said, that's the one thing Deck 9 did the best in this game, was the Rachel Amber and the whole finding everything out about her as well. Not only did we meet the real Rachel Amber, we actually found out so much about her, even in 3 episodes. I mean, there's been these kind of rumors of Before the Storm 2, but I don't know if we need it. Would I take it? Probably. I probably would take it and play it. but I don't think it's necessarily needed. But I think that this could be another situation where this game does so well that maybe a second one's inevitable, but it has been a couple of years or more since this game was like first announced, so I don't know. I personally wouldn't mind, but I really wouldn't be too bothered if it wasn't either. Because the continuity, like I said, is kind of messed up now. You know, it's like I said earlier. Farewell mentions that Joyce was never Joyce smoked, and then the Before the Storm episode 1 revealed that Joyce was never a smoker. You know, and then you've got. One thing I would love for Before the Storm 2 is a Max side of things. Because by the end of this episode, by the end of this season, we've covered that. You know, we haven't gone into the whole Rachel Amber story into her first game's story arc, but you can make your own interpretation from that. I would like a Max. I would like a Max story. I would like there to be some clarification on where she didn't talk to Chloe and what she did in Seattle. I would love to see that shit. I really would. If they do it Before the Storm 2, make it about Max, for goodness sake. You know, give us some more clarification, but I don't know. Maybe that would muck things up even more. But if they're going to do that and they make a Max story and they tell us why Max didn't talk to Chloe for 5 years and they kind of give some clarification on that and maybe some her time in Seattle, then do it. Personally. But the thing is, I would love that, but at the same time, would another game in the Before the Storm series be seen as, oh, you know, they're just milking the story for all it's worth? But honestly, I would take that. Because I want, like I said in the farewell, I want this dislike for Max to stop. I want some clarification on that. But I don't know, because is Max's time in Seattle really needed? You know what I mean? That would be a favorable option for me, but in the grand scheme of it, is it really needed? Probably not. But that's what I would like it to do. I would like Max's story when Chloe wasn't around. I'd like to see the letters maybe that Max tried to write. I'd like to see the text that Max tried to write. I'd love that. But would anyone else? That's the real point. I'd love it, but would it be just seen as milking it for the sake of it? You know, we've now, you know, I say that, but at the same time, it's like that would be just me. That would have been me a couple of years ago. You know, right now, like I said, I'm using these ones not just to bring them back and to kind of do my final choices and everything, but to let go of this part of the series. So I've probably just gone against that with what I just said, but I would. I really would. I really would take that. But what would the reception of that kind of game be? You know? And if they did a Before the Storm, like, because let's think about it. If there was to ever a Before the Storm 2 to be made, right? We don't necessarily, like, the whole Before the Storm 2 isn't necessarily in any sort of fashion. We don't necessarily need Max's time in Seattle, and we don't necessarily need another one of this where we kind of find out about Rachel's plot point in the first game. We don't need it, because I think the first game really kind of tells that a little bit. It doesn't go into great detail, you don't actually see it, but it's there in words. Max's time in Seattle isn't even explored at all. You know, there's no words. It's mostly just, you know, Max in words apologizing to Chloe mostly and all that. Yeah, but her time in Seattle is very, very barely done. So if there was a Before the Storm 2, I would like that, personally. And that's not even the biased side of me talking, because like I said, I'm more than ready at this point to move on and play Life is Strange 2 and explore this new world. But if there ever was, because I haven't played Life is Strange 2 yet, so if there ever was in the next year and I finished Life is Strange 2 before then, I would play that whole game first before I did any of that. Just to show I am over it. But, you know, if there was a game like that, then I probably would be right back in again. Oh, excuse me. But yeah, this was another almost 4 hours again. Like, oh my god. I think, if I remember rightly, I think episode 3 is like the shortest of them all. Not by much, I think, but it is the shortest, I think, of them all. I think. I could be wrong. I guess we'll find out when I play it. It's funny that now in the original game credits, they have everything from Farewell in it. Yeah, I don't know. Before the Storm 2 with Max would be a good idea, but I don't know how that would really work, and would it really be needed? I'd like it to be, but is it really necessarily needed in the grand scheme of it? Probably not. But I just want to know what stopped Max talking, and who Christian and Fernando are. Or Kirsten, I think her name was, but I'd like to know that. Just for knowing same woman or anything, but I don't know. Maybe Don't Nod wanted to keep that not there, you know, because they didn't explore it. They should have done. They should have explored it more, but I guess because of, you know, I guess because of the first game they couldn't explore that, you know. So if Deck 9's objective to the whole thing was to bring Rachel Amber into it, why don't they do a Max story for the second one? If that ever comes to fruition, but I don't know if it will. And because everyone's opinion of Max has changed so drastically, I don't think it would really work. So yeah, 78 took the blame for Rachel. That's no surprise. 6238 accepted. Emptied your pocket today was a request. 65 today with Mikey, and of course the 70% asked for the kiss. Of course they did. That doesn't even need to be fucking read, because of course that is. I'm guessing, judging by the photo, that could be the canon. I don't know what the canon is of any of this. I'm trying to think. I think the taking the blame is canon. I think the refusing to empty the pockets is canon. I'm assuming staying with Mikey is canon, because Chloe at one point owes money to Frank, even in the first game. And I'm almost completely certain that the kiss will probably be canon, but I don't know. Oops. Have we got any friends on PC? No. Oh, that sucks. No friends on PC. Damn. That sucks. Can we see the, wait, can we? Yeah, there we go. So, not to go with the play with Elliot, I'm in the minority. What the fuck? 42 didn't talk to Elliot about the play, and 42 intended to go with him. What the fuck? Agreed to start over 76. Put the singing man on the dashboard 68. I didn't even know it in the first playthrough I did. Didn't pay off your debt to Frank. 98 to 2%. Wow. Didn't tell Steph that Rachel was single. 85%. Huh. I wonder what you do if you tell her like she is. I guess you could tell her she is if you pick more than friends. It would make not more than friends in the first episode. It would make sense. I should have done that in the first place, because I did pick not friends in the first place. So I should have done that. Return Drew's money to him. More people didn't give Samantha advice. I would be very surprised if any people even saw it, because like I said, I didn't even see her in the first place. In the first playthrough. Victoria about to play 34%. 34 tricked Victoria, but 47 tricked Victoria during the play. Oh, a real even split here. 35 on a road trip, 32 to New York, 33 to Los Angeles. Interesting. And then 71, Rachel attacked him in the diner because you knew he was going to do that anyway. That's just who attacks first. You know, it's not really important.
Shit! shit.
That's one of the few instances where Chloe actually sounded a little bit like Ashley Birch. The other one is when she says, "That sounds boss as fuck." It's like, something about her just sounded very Ashley Birch in that line, which is pretty cool. Alright, so the first game in Project Pre-C is almost complete, as we will go into episode 3, Hell is Empty, and basically everything from these 2 episodes is now thrown out the window. And now it turns into the Sarah story, quite frankly. Pretty much. I'm probably giving spoilers, but everything you've done here, throw it out. Doesn't mean anything, as it becomes in the search for Sarah, and then the game ends. The game ends, and you kind of left scratching your head a little bit. I loved Before the Storm when it came out, when I finished it. I still do, but I think now I'm playing it, I'm kind of realizing a little bit that maybe in the overall scheme of it, apart from bringing Rachel Amber to the story, what more was there to really understand about the universe? Not really. The only real thing was bringing Rachel into the story, and that's what they did well, but they had to throw in some shock here, and then a search here, which turns out to be fruitless, I guess, depending on what you pick. I mean, in my end of things, in the first playthrough, this turned out fruitless. This was nothing. This was an introduction into the series, this back into the world. This was to probably push Amber Price a little bit more, and this, you throw everything from the first 2 out, and then it just comes into a search for Sarah or whatever, because Rachel obviously is going to be curious about that. And yeah, basically everything from here, you just throw it out, and then you reach here, you search for Sarah, you could probably turns out fruitless depending on what you do, and then the game ends. So really, everything from here is now out, because of course now they're not going anywhere. You know, you've done all this build up to them leaving, and they never do, because Sarah's become a roadblock in that. So this is introductory. This is to throw Amber Price a bit more, obviously with the choice after the play and the play scene. And this, well, you can just throw everything else out, and it just abandons Amber Price and all that completely, and turns into a more of a Sarah episode, to be honest, and the situation surrounding her before and after Rachel was born. You know, because you learn all about Sarah in the first part, then you start searching for her, and then you search, and then you start searching for where she is, and then you get to her, and then the game ends. That's pretty much, I know it probably explained the plot, but that's all it is, really. Everything else, all Amber Price and the fucking going away and all that shit, you just throw that out. You throw that out, because it never happens. Well, it probably doesn't happen anyway, because then the running away never really happens. So what was the whole point of that whole thing? You know, they did the play scene, and they promised to run away together and all that. It never happens. Never happens, because the first game, like, I mean, there's still a bit of time between after this game and the first game that doesn't get explored. It's like, oh my god, plot holes everywhere. Of course, everyone, like I said, everyone in the first game can make their own assumption, which is pretty much correct. But yeah, it's like I said with the whole Amber Price thing. Now it gets thrown out. The running away gets thrown out, and it becomes the Sarah Amber episode, more or less, with Chloe as you're playing her. I've pretty much just explained the plot, but I still love the game, don't get me wrong, I still love the game, I still love being back in this universe at the time, but now that I'm playing it again, and I'm really thinking about it, because I said I would, I'm starting to realize a lot more. And goddamn, this was still 4 hours. I intended it not to be, but there you go. Anyway, I will go, and you know the drill, guys. Episode 3 of Before the Storm is coming next, and then after that, we move on to the first game, and the second half of the first segment of Project PC. You guys know what to do. Subscribe, follow, and all that stuff. I will see you for episode 3. Peace out. Sim and Chaos signing off. Stay awesome.